Hey guys, so today I have a tutorial on this neon gradient manicure. I have orange to red on my thumb, well I had, and then I totally forgot to film my intro and started taking the manicure off, so I will have orange to red on my thumb when I get into the tutorial. All of the neon polishes that I used are from the China Glaze Electric Nights collection, so yeah, I hope you guys like this and I will get into the tutorial. So I've already applied my white base and I am using OPI's Alpine Snow. The polishes that I'm using are all from the China Glaze Electric Nights collection. This is going to be coming out shortly. I know there are a few websites where you can get them right now. I think 88 Beauty has them, 365 Nail Art has them. I've seen them around a couple places, but the polishes that I'm going to be using are all from that collection. This is Daisy Know My Name, Treble Maker, DJ Blew My Mind, Plur-ple, Ready to Rave, and Home Sweet House Music. So I have my makeup sponges all cut in half already. So I have soaked my sponges in water and squeezed them out so they're just damp. And then I'm going to start with my first two colors. I'm just kind of going in rainbow order. So I'm using the red and the orange. And I'm just going to paint the stripes of those colors next to each other on the sponge. Actually helps to keep your bottles open too, so you can work a little bit faster. So I'm going to start with my thumb, which is broken. I broke it last week. And I'm going to make sure to point my sponge so that the red is facing away from the rest of my fingers. And I'm just going to sponge the color on. I'm going to try to center the break between the two colors. Like that. And then I'm going to move side to side a little bit to cover the whole thumb. You don't want to go up and down too many times because as it starts to dry, it can pull up your base color. You just want to kind of overlap the colors a little bit in the middle so that they blend together. So that's good for the first coat. You can apply a liquid latex kind of nail wrap. This one is from Cinema Swatch Lacquer. It's the That's a Wrap. I'm not going to for this, for gradients. It does make the cleanup a lot faster, but for me it takes just as much time to put this on all my nails as it does to just clean up the polish, so I'm going to skip it for now, but some days I do go for it. It just kind of depends on how quickly I want to be done once I'm done. So I totally have my camera off, but I have my sponge, my damp sponge here. The reason you want to dampen it is that the sponge doesn't absorb all the polish, and then it's smart to start with your lighter color when you put these on so you don't get the darker color on the lighter brush and then getting it in the polish. I didn't even think about that, so do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, I'm just going to use the same orange from my thumb and then the yellow. And this is going on my pointer finger, so again, I want to point the orange towards my thumb so it's close to where I left off. Center where the lines meet on your nail and just sponge down. And then you want to go over to the sides and kind of wiggle back and forth a little bit so that everything blends together. So for the next one, I'm using the yellow from my pointer finger and the green. I'm just going in rainbow order. And again, I'm pointing the yellow towards where I left off with the yellow on my pointer finger, centering the space between the colors. Trying to overlap a little bit by going a little bit back and forth in the middle so the colors blend in. So again, for the next finger, I'm using the green that I left off with and the blue. So for the last one, I'm doing the blue and the purple. You do want to be sure to try to keep the lines straight up and down. Don't do them kind of sideways on the sponge. I did that the first time that I did this, and it was really hard to get my gradient straight. It ended up kind of crooked. So you do want to be careful just to make sure that you do your stripes straight down the sponge. So I'm facing the blue towards where I left off with it. And then wiggling back and forth just a little bit to blend the colors together. So you want to let these completely dry before you do your second coat, just because you don't want to stick the sponge on the nail and have it pull up all the polish from the previous coat. So I'm going to let them dry, and then I'm going to go do, I'm thinking one, maybe two more sponge coats here, and then I'm going to do my top coat one nail at a time because the top coat will help smudge everything together and blend it together. So when I get to top coat time, I will come back. Okay, now that I have finished my third coat on my pointer finger, and I screwed up on this one, and I got the orange way too far over, I'm going to put my top coat on right away. I want to do them one at a time while they're still wet because it is going to help blend the colors together and kind of get rid of those sponge marks that you get, make everything look really smooth. So I'm going to continue with my third coats and doing my top coat one at a time, and then I will come back. Okay, so now that everything is done, and my top coat was the INM Out The Door by the way. I'm going to take a Q-tip with some nail polish remover on it, and I'm going to clean up the worst of what's around my fingers. And then for the stuff that's really, really close to my cuticles, I'm going to use my e.l.f. cleanup brush and some acetone. I have a whole video on how I clean up around my nails, and while there's a lot more to clean up in this manicure, it's pretty much the same idea. But it is a good idea to clean up your nail line and straighten it out with your white base before you actually do the gradient. It's just less cleanup that you have to do later. And I also forgot to mention, this is actually really important, your white base needs to be completely dry before you start your gradient, because you, again, will lift up the polish underneath with the sponge if it's not dry. And then because we used a lot of nail polish remover and a lot of acetone, we want to follow up with the cuticle oil just to add the moisture back that all the nail polish remover took away. And there is the neon gradient. If you guys recreate this or anything, tag me on Instagram because I really, really like to see that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later.